Okay, let's get started on example 9. So I'm going to show you example 9 with the shortcut. Just don't forget that the square root of -1 equals I. So don't forget that. And that was really sloppy, you guys. Apologize. That is the... I'm going to rewrite that because that's embarrassing. Sorry, you guys. The square root of -1 equals I. And again, we write I. It looks kind of like a backwards J, but it's an I. It's like a fancy way. You have to be fancy when you use imaginary numbers. So that is an I. Please don't write it as a J. A lot of my students tend to write this as a J. It's a backwards J looking thing. It's actually an I. So you can write it like that. Sometimes people use a cursive I for imaginary. So sometimes you'll see it, like that or something. Okay, so just know it's a cursive I. Okay, you can see it as a cursive I or as like a little backwards J looking thing. So however you see it, okay? But anyways, let's get going. Alright, so the shortcut, whenever you spot a negative under a square root, an I will hop out and it will transform that -27 into a positive 27. Okay? And then all I got to do is deal with this square root of 27, and at the very end, I just need to put the I with my final answer. Okay? So, the square root of 27, that is not a perfect square. Okay? So, guess what that means? We need to do a factor tree. We need to break it on down. So, I'm going to break it on down. So, the square root of 27 will break down into 3 and 9, which 9 will break down into 3 and 3. So, do you guys spot any couples at the ends of the branches? Do you guys see any couples that get to leave the house and go on their math date? I see a pair of 3s. Do you guys see it? So I could pick like this pair of 3s or this pair of 3s or like this 3 and that 3. It does not matter which 3 you put together. Since these two are the closest together, I'm just going to circle that because it's the easiest way. But it doesn't matter. So I have a pair of 3s. So my 3s will hop outside the square root. Okay, and then my lonely single 3 right here will stay inside the square root. So this 3 will stay inside. And the only other thing, the I also hopped out of the square root. So I is also on the outside of the square root. So I'm just going to write I right next to my 3. So I'm going to write the I next to everything else that hops outside my square root. If nothing else hops outside my square root, then I is going to be all by itself in the front. Okay, so you write, don't forget to write the I on the outside with whatever hops out, and then it just turns into a normal square root problem. So my final answer would be 3I root 3. So 3I, and again, that's an I. Sorry, my eyes are really struggling today. Sorry, guys. So 3I root 3 would be my final answer. Okay, so it's nothing different than what we have been doing. Just know, if a negative is under a square root, an I will hop outside your square root. Other than that, you solve these like you normally would. Way to go, everyone.